Good evening. Thanks for tuning in to 7Edition. This Saturday, I'm Shafiqa Rizali, and these are tonight's top stories. Close battle in Semenyih by-election. Rohingya refugees stranded on perilous beach, duped by countrymen. And Pakistan-India feud continues with shelling in Kashmir, killing at least 6. Good evening. We begin tonight's bulletin with this story. Kedah Rohingya Society of Malaysia, RSM President Yusof Ali, has revealed that the group of 35 Rohingya refugees found stranded on a beach at Simpang Empat Perlis early Friday were brought in by a human trafficking syndicate. He also believed the mastermind of the syndicate are his fellow countrymen. The syndicate, Yusof alleged, operated under the guise of a non-governmental organisation, NGO, fighting for the rights of the Rohingya refugees. He said Malaysia's political and economic stability were used to bait the ethnic Rohingyas to come to the country. The Rohingyas were also promised employment opportunities in various manufacturing and plantation sectors.
Ini NGO dengan dia buat macam ejen, kita mau masuk dalam kerja dia tangan dia apa mau jual. Bangsa Rohingya ni jual dengan apa kelang-kelang lah apa-apa lah dia ambil je, dia mau buat ejen.
Yusof also claimed the Rohingyas in Malaysia were forced to purchase smart cards costing between 500 and 800 ringgit. The smart cards were sold by those from the bogus NGO who claimed that the card would be their insurance when faced with deportation. Yusof also stated that this has prolonged since last year, and about 190,000 ethnic Rohingyas nationwide have been told to gather in Kuala Lumpur and Kelantan to get their cards.
Dia kata ini kad ini ambil kalau boleh buka bank, boleh ambil lesen pemandu, boleh buka kedai. Bangsa Rohingya ni bodoh. Dia apa ambil lah, dia apa tak tahu ini bagi kerajaan ke siapa ke. Bangsa Rohingya ni takut apa? Dia apa dulu di Myanmar takut cukup kerajaan.
Yusof also said the card bought from the NGO was different compared to the smart card issued to refugees and asylum seekers registered under the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, or UNHCR. He added the smart card sold by the NGO was more similar to the National Validation Card (NVC) issued by the Myanmar government, a form of deceit to deny the Rohingyas of their rights to citizenship. Meanwhile, Police Chief Datuk Nur Mushar Mohamad said police are expecting a second wave of Rohingya refugees to arrive in Malaysia by sea. This was based on the arrival of the first batch on Friday, involving women and children. Datuk Nur Mushar believed the boat carrying 35 Rohingya refugees, including 9 children, had initially escaped enforcement patrols by Marine Police and the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, MMEA. The refugees were subsequently detected by a fishing boat. He also said the refugees were dropped off by human traffickers in the middle of the sea, leaving them to make their own way through the coast and on land once low tide kicked in. He added that the case has been handed over to the Immigration Department as no criminal elements were found. The latest series of a nationwide crackdown on illegal immigrants launched at midnight on Friday by the Immigration Department saw 1,485 people arrested. Its Director General Datuk Khairul Zaimi Daud said the operation was a collaboration between various agencies, including the National Registration Department and the Civil Defence Force. According to authorities, all those detained were among some 3,750 foreign nationals inspected by enforcement officers during the joint operation. Raids at an entertainment outlet and 2 residential units in Klang Valley by a team from the Immigration Department headquarters saw 218 arrests out of 418 migrants checked.
Mereka ini kebanyakannya melakukan kesalahan sama ada tinggal lebih masa, masuk tanpa menggunakan dokumen yang sah ataupun menyalahgunakan dan tidak mengikut endorsement yang diberikan di atas pas lawatan masing-masing.
Datuk Khairul said enforcement officers have carried out 2,646 operations nationwide and conducted checks on a total of 40,321 people since January 1st up until last Thursday. Of that number, about 9,452 illegals were arrested for various immigration offences. Also arrested were 176 employers, with action taken against 151 of them, including hauling them to the court. One of the 5 missing victims of a boat capsize incident in the waters near Sandakan, Sabah on Thursday was found drowned today. The deceased, a 42-year-old woman, has yet to be identified. The search and rescue operation for the remaining victims, involving over 100 personnel from various agencies, resumed at 7 a.m. today. The Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency (MMEA) said they were then alerted by a fisherman about the body floating in the waters between Pulau Nunuyan Laut and Pulau Berhala at about 12:30 p.m. Sandakan Zone MMEA Deputy Operation Director, Maritime Commander Muhammad Khairul Anwar Abdul Majid said the search is now focused on 3 more victims, namely a 27-year-old man identified as Ibrahim January, his 18-month-old daughter Nuraini, as well as an 8-year-old girl whose identity was still unknown. A 38-year-old man suspected to be the tekong or boat skipper, identified as Sido, was initially believed to be among the missing victims. However, based on information given by survivors of the incident, the man was believed to have fled after he swam away from the scene, using a fuel container to stay afloat. Yesterday, 5 people, 2 men and 3 women, aged between 19 and 29, were rescued by the Royal Malaysian Navy at about noon. 4 hours later, the body of one of the victims, a 7-year-old boy identified as Kimar Herman, was found. The rescued victims are now being treated at the Duchess of Kent Hospital in Sandakan and are reported to be in stable condition. It was reported that the boat with 11 people on board capsized about 5 nautical miles from Pulau Nunuyan Laut due to turbulent sea conditions at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, about 30 minutes after the vessel departed Pulau Tagana in the Philippines. Moving on, after 2 weeks of campaigning, voters in the Semenyih constituency cast their votes today to elect their new representative. It's a neck-to-neck race between Pakatan Harapan and Barisan Nasional, with early indicators showed that BN is slightly ahead in the 4-cornered race. Today's by-election, the 8th after the 14th general election, saw close to 70% of voters casting their ballots, which was also a record turnout compared to previously. And the official result is expected to be known soon tonight. The 4-cornered contest in the by-election involved Pakatan Harapan's Muhammad Aiman Zainali, Barisan Nasional's Zakaria Hanafi, Parti Sosialis Malaysia's Nik Aziz Afiq Abdul, and independent candidate Kwan Chi Heng. A total of 53,411 people were eligible to vote in the by-election. Meanwhile, the Election Commission (EC) is disappointed that Pondok Panas or canvassing booths are still being set up despite reminders have been issued many times to political parties. Its chairman Azhar Azizan Harun said the Commission had found several booths that were set up at polling stations and had ordered for them to be removed immediately.
Pondok Panas dan Barung sebenarnya tidak dibenarkan. Ia merupakan satu kesalahan dalam akta kesalahan-kesalahan pilihan raya. Saya dah tekankan perkara ini banyak kali, dan pihak penguatkuasa yang menerima laporan-laporan ini, mereka akan pergi ke kawasan tersebut dan menyuruh mereka berhentilah daripada mengadakan barung-barung tersebut. Tetapi kalau pondok rehat yang tak ada apa-apa aktiviti untuk petugas-petugas, ya, duduk situ berehat, hisap rokok, atau tak tahulah boleh hisap rokok ke sekarang tempat awam. untuk minum atau makan, untuk petugas-petugas berehat, tanpa apa-apa aktiviti meraih undi. Itu dibenarkan.
Azhar also said it was not wrong for any ministers or politicians from visiting the constituency today. He pointed out that there is no issue with ministers meeting up with the people and shaking their hands. However, it is an offence if the leaders tried to garner votes for their party's candidate. Now, Bersatu President Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin has dismissed claims that he was campaigning for Pakatan Harapan on polling day. This after pictures of him greeting Pakatan supporters were shared on the social media page of a rival political party.
Saya pergi pusing tengok aja. Itu memang dah kerja kita lama. Beribu orang untuk pergi turun ke pusat-pusat daerah mengundi, pakai baju biru, ada merah, ada. Kempen dia tak kempen. Jadi saya pergi pusing. Jadi kalau itu tuduhannya, mana tak ada berasas, fitnah dan tak ada sebab. Pasal semalam pun saya tak ada berada di sini. Saya di Kuala Lumpur. Saya tahu tempoh masa 12:30 malam, semua pihak tak boleh berkempen lagi. Jadi janganlah buat cerita fitnah.
Tan Sri Muhyiddin also defended party candidate Muhammad Aiman Zanali after he was called out for telling reporters to vote for him and Pakatan Harapan in the by-election. The Home Minister also questioned whether Muhammad Aiman's action was actually an election offence. The Pakatan Harapan candidate was accused by electoral watchdog Bersih 2.0 of violating the Election Offences Act, which does not allow the candidate to campaign on polling day. Now, in another development, a banner featuring Datin Sri Rosma Mansor sparked a commotion between Barisan Nasional and Pakatan Harapan supporters this morning. The incident occurred around noon near the Sesapan Batu Rembau polling centre. BN supporters were clearly unhappy with the banner of the wife of former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak being strung up near the polling centre. They then confronted Pakatan Harapan supporters, accusing them of putting up the provocative banner. Around 1 p.m, UMNO Supreme Council member Datuk Lokman Nur Adam arrived at the scene and proceeded to tear the banner down. EC Chairman Azhar Harun also rebuked the incident, saying any form of banners or visuals or even sounds teasing or chastening opponents is considered a provocation. We're still waiting for the results now, and for the updates on the latest situation in Semenyih, let's cross over to our reporter Ridwan Hussein. Hi Ridwan, what's going on there?
Yes, thank you, Shafika. Currently, I'm at the official tallying centre at the Dewan Sri Cempaka Sarjana Impian Kajang, where the members of the media are still waiting for the official announcement for the Election Commission EC. And the first ballot box arrived at and entered the hall around 7:30 p.m. by the returning officers from every PDMs or polling centre. And for now, we only have the unofficial results gathered from various platforms as of 8 p.m. Pika?
Right, Redwan, who is currently leading in the poll? Do we have the unofficial results yet?
Yes, as I've said just now, I only have the unofficial results gathered from various platforms, and as of 8 p.m, Barisan Nasional BN Zakaria Hanafi is leading with 16,636 votes, followed by Pakatan Harapan PH candidate Muhammad Aiman Zainali with 14,414 votes, while Parti Sosialis Malaysia PSM's Nix Aziz Afiq Abdul has 673 votes, and independent candidate Kwan Chi Heng 601 votes. And please be reminded that this is unofficial results, and we are still waiting for more ballot boxes to arrive, and these numbers may change from time to time, maybe up to 10 p.m. as announced by the Election Commission. And these figures are only the results from 100 ballot boxes, and please be reminded again that in total we have 12 more ballot boxes, so it will expected to be a short night, maybe a long night today. So right now the main hall is still buzzing with the arrival of the ballot boxes, and maybe it will take a few more hours before the whole process will be concluded. But hopefully the official results will be announced just as the EC's expectation to have it done by the latest by 10 p.m. And I think that's all from me from Dewan Seri Cempaka for the by-election Dun Semenyih from Dewan Seri Cempaka in Kajang. Back to Syafiqah in the studio.
Thank you so much, Ridwan, for those updates. We're going for a short break now. Coming up, talented singers receive huge applause in Asia's Got Talent. Details next. Thanks for staying with us. The Department of Islamic Development, JAKIM, says it will look into claims of non-halal substances in immunization shots, resulting in a handful of parents refusing to have their children vaccinated. Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Fuzia Saleh, assured that a thorough check would be conducted with a necessary fatwa issued before authorities move to the draft mandatory law aimed at improving vaccination coverage.
Kita hormat hak ibu bapa dan di masa yang sama kita hormat juga hak orang lain. Sebab itulah yang perlu kita lihat dari sudut fatwa, dari sudut apa orang kata hak asasi manusia, dari sudut akhirnya barulah kita boleh siapkan satu dasar yang merangkumi segalanya, ya.
Research dan kajian. Jadi ini adalah salah satu daripada apa yang kita syorkan supaya anak-anak diberikan vaccination.
Yesterday, Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail said the government would look into the possibility of making immunization vaccines a precondition for children to be enrolled in schools. On Monday, the media also reported that several parties, including the Malaysian Islamic Doctors Association and Malaysia Eye Medic, has suggested a similar move to protect children from preventable diseases such as diphtheria and measles. This following a 2-year-old child in Johor who never received a diphtheria vaccine died last week due to the disease. Now updated as of 7 p.m, here are the top trending topics and sectors on the internet today. Now it's time for our My Game On segment, bringing you the latest eSports news in Malaysia. Perak is eyeing more investments in the eSports segment as the northern state gears up to become the national eSports hub in Malaysia. In light of this, the state government has launched the eSports Professional Industry Conference, EPIC 2019, in a bid to promote the various benefits that the industry has to offer. Perak Youth Development and Sports Committee Chairman Howard Lee believes the conference will help convince industry players of the state's goal to continue developing the Malaysian esports industry. The State Exco wants stakeholders to witness how far the industry has grown and the potential it brings with long-term investments in the ecosystem.
Keikhlasan kerajaan negeri dan juga pelaburan kerajaan negeri akan menjadi mesej yang sangat jelas kepada pelabur-pelabur yang berpotensi, penggiat dan penggerak eSports yang ikhlas dan jujur nak membangunkan ekosistem, dan mereka akan gravitate kepada Perak.
The two-day Epic 2019 at the Casuarina Convention Centre in Meru Ipoh, which ends tomorrow, is focused on three main aspects, namely eSports conference, exhibition and competition. Panel discussions would also take place at the conference on eSports grassroots development, health, economy growth as well as the eSports ecosystem.
Boleh datang tengok pameran, boleh datang menyaksikan pertandingan yang harap-harap akan jadi sengit dan sangat exciting, dan saya rasa boleh dengar, kita akan ada skrin kat luar, orang boleh dengar perbincangan, boleh menyertai sembang kencang yang saya pasti akan sangat kencang.
There will also be an exhibition on eSports featuring cosplay characters and booths showing off the latest gaming gears and equipments. The Kinta District eSports Tournament will also provide a platform for gaming enthusiasts to showcase their talent. 16 teams will battle it out in Dota 2, while 40 teams are expected to go head-to-head in PUBG. 32 teams will also take the stage to compete in Mobile Legends, while 64 individuals will play for the Cup in FIFA 19 on PlayStation. Epic 2019 is supported by MyGameOn, the official media portal under Media Prima Digital. The glow-tastic Illumi Fest run is making a comeback tonight for the second time around and set to give yet another electrifying new experience for adrenaline junkies and thrill seekers. To know what's lit and new for this year's glow-in-the-dark marathon, let's cross over to our roving reporter, Izzul Islam. What's lit, Izzul?
Thank you very much, Shafika, and welcome to the Illumi Run 2019. I'm here at the Selangor Turf Club attending the Night Fun Run, where everything is just amazing right now. I mean, this is the second edition of this running festival, where currently, if I'm not mistaken, there's at least 6,500 participants here and counting. Now, this run is organized by that of Infinitus Productions as well as MPI Generali Insurance Berhad. It's a 4-kilometer fun run which is glow in the dark, so all these adrenaline junkies and running enthusiasts will be running through a course that has a lot of themed zones that are of course glow in the dark, ultraviolet, and definitely one to take your phone out and snap a couple of selfies and pictures during the run. Now, this Illumi Fest is definitely quite interesting, but to explain a little bit more about this run, we have ourselves the CEO of MPI Generali, which is that of Krishnamurthy Rao. So, Mr. Krishnamurthy, please do tell us, what exactly is this Illumi Run about? What is the objective?
Illumi Fest Run, basically organized by Infinitus Productions of Singapore, and this type of run has been conducted in countries like Australia, China and Singapore along with Malaysia. This is to introduce people to the fun of run. Individuals and families can discover the fun of run.
All right, so tell me, this is the second edition, you said, right? So what exactly is unique about this year compared to that of last year?
MPI Generali is organizing this for the second time, and this year we have more than 6,500 participants, and there are more fun games introduced in the run. Also, there is a 3-meter high slide which has been provided, and there are more activities which the participants can engage in.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Krishnamurthy. Now, guys, I can't keep these racers behind me from waiting any longer. We've been holding them up until this moment. Now, this is the time. We're about to just flag off the race now. Mr. Krishnamurthy, please do the honors. Let's start this race off. Thank you, Pika. We once again, that's for myself, Izzul Islam, and my camerawoman, Terry, here at the Illumi Run in the Selangor Turf Club. And we're about to start off the race. Let's go check it out. All right.
Thank you, Wan, for such an interesting update. When we return, suicide car bomb in Somalia killed 36. Don't go away. We're back with foreign news. Updates on the situation between Pakistan and India. An improvised explosive device went off in a Jammu and Kashmir village on Saturday, barely 4 kilometers from the February 14th Pulwama attack spot, where 40 paramilitary forces lost their lives. The bombing, which killed one civilian, came only hours after captured Indian pilot Abhinandan was released as a gesture of peace by Pakistan. Television footage showed Wing Commander Abhinandan walking across the border near the town of Wagya just before 9 p.m. local time. Indian officials confirmed he had been returned and said he would be taken for medical checks. Abhinandan's plane was shot down on Wednesday while flying an MiG-21 fighter jet that crashed in Pakistani territory after a dogfight with a Pakistani JF-17. Prior to his release, Pakistani TV broadcast video of him looking cleaned up, thanking the Pakistani army for treating him well.
I see peace in it. I have spent time with the Pakistani army. I am very impressed. Indian media बात हमेशा बड़ा चढ़ा के कहती है, जो छोटी सी चीज़ होती है, उसका बहुत ही उसको इतना आग लगा के, इतनी मिर्च लगा के बोलते हैं वो, उसमें लोग बहकावे में आ जाते हैं.
Flags were lit and flags waved as Indians celebrated his return. Now, reports suggest that Saturday's early morning blast took place around 3 a.m. local time at the district's Tral, causing panic in the neighborhood. The explosive device was allegedly laid to target security patrol vehicles, but ended up injuring a civilian due to a premature explosion. The strong blast shattered window panes of houses and formed a large crater where it exploded, while a police team reached the spot to investigate the matter. Despite the verbal urge for peace from both sides, Indian and Pakistani soldiers continue trading heavy fire on the line of control (LOC) in Poonch and Rajouri districts since the last 8 days, a situation locals described as the real war. A family of 3 were killed in shelling by the Pakistani army on the LOC earlier the day. Later, Indian troops with heavy weapons who are indiscriminately targeting border villages along the LOC killed a boy and wounded 3 others. Over in Somalia, at least 36 were killed and another 60 wounded over a deadly car bomb attack in Mogadishu. Most of the victims, who were civilians, were trapped in debris, while others died at the hospital where they had been rushed for treatment. According to authorities, the attackers had been subdued as government forces on Friday managed to end the siege on Hotel Makkah al-Mukarramah. The latest attack, claimed by the Al-Qaeda-linked group Al-Shabaab, were meant to create fear among the public as they have been targeting public places and markets. The massive blast, which could be felt in various parts of the city, came from the truck loaded with explosives before destroying several buildings along the road. Lionsgate just released a trailer for Neil Marshall's R-rated Hellboy reboot, starring David Harbour of Stranger Things as the film's titular demon. Hellboy will heat up Malaysian theatres this April 11th, and the trailer wraps up 7 Edition this evening. I'm Shafika Rizali. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.